We are Patrick and Joanna Masters and started coming to Restoration Church in July of 2023. It was a church search for sure. We had visited a few and were kind of taking notes and really trying to see the community that we wanted to be a part of. We were part of a church for,
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. We're pretty involved in that church as well. And that church is no longer, and found Restoration pretty early on in the process. Still ended up visiting a few others, but then felt really called to Restoration and to the mission. When we started calling Restoration our home in the summer of last year, Joanna and I had already started a process for Joanna's brother who had a liver disease, and he had asked if there was anybody who would be willing to volunteer to donate their liver. And so Joanna and I prayed about it, and of all the people who volunteered, I happened to be a perfect match for my brother-in-law, for Joanna's brother. I remember meeting Kurt and Katie and, getting to know them and, kind of those pleasant conversations in the first few weeks, and said, "Hey, Kurt, I got something to tell you." We knew it was the time. We knew it was the decision we'd prayed about and talked about, and was able to, September 27th of last year, give, not all of it, but 2/3 of my liver to my brother-in-law.
It was a lot. I mean, it's a circumstance that like so few people in the world can relate to, right? Is having your spouse go through an organ donation, but also to save the life of another person that you love. And meanwhile, we started this with, a 2-month-old and a 3-year-old. So our life was, a little chaotic already. So the thought of putting either of us in kind of that risk, it was a test of faith, but it was also a great opportunity to not only show love to my brother and his wife and children, but to others not involved, right? So it was not easy, but there was a confidence there that was very much divine.
Where my mind goes is more after the surgery. It was a very introspective time. It was a time not of regret that we'd made the decision to do it, and not fear and not and anything like that, but our minds slowly shifted to realize that this was something that was bigger than me. It was bigger than Joanna. It was bigger than us. And it had much more to do with our faith and what we felt called to do. And the people that showed up is what I will remember. The community that you sometimes don't even know that you have, but people feel inspired. People felt compelled to help us out in that situation, even when we didn't ask for it. I think was a very humbling experience.
I would say that, there's always a lot of reasons not to do things. And this was one where there was a million reasons, like, this is crazy. I think we got that. You got that from a lot of people, like, that's insane. Why would you do that? So I think it's just that knowing that there are people or there are times in our lives that calling will be placed on us. So it's, just being able to kind of see through the no's, see through the reasons why not, to still follow that calling. And I hope that that's something that, this church is empowering people to do, to be able to kind of see through that fog and follow.
What kept us going and what kept me going was that community and Restoration and family, and those that were praying for us, and those that had trips to Germany, and they had to make sure they found a church because they wanted to make sure they sent some prayers for us. And I think that show of love is what I also hope for this church, that it can continue to be that for people, whether they become organ donors or whether they're going through a difficult season like we were. To have a community in Christ is a prayer I have.